It's Friday, July 23rd, 2021. So much happening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get right into it today. We are witnessing Fantasyland. We are living in the Twilight Zone. We are witnessing this detachment from reality, this detachment of Wall Street and Main Street, this detachment from reality and Fantasyland. Today, Dow Jones closes above 35,000 for the first time ever. This is Fantasyland. And as, of course, you watch these business channels and these economists, they're so euphoric, ecstatic about what's happening. But this is complete fantasy. We're here above 35,000 because of all this massive quantitative easing, all the money printing. This is a complete fantasy. And it's going to turn into a nightmare, ladies and gentlemen, real soon. Wasn't it just yesterday that we got the jobless claims for last week? 419,000 Americans filed first-time jobless claims last week. 12 million renters and their families, about 50 million people, face eviction this coming July 31st. We're witnessing 25% unemployment in America right now. 13 million people in this country are on the government dole. U.S. debt is accelerating, now over $28.4 trillion. We are witnessing probably the worst inflation in our lifetime, at least in my lifetime. And it's not about to cool down. It is about to ramp up. Yet, Dow Jones closes above 35,000 for the first time ever. Now, to the people out there who just lost their job last week, maybe you've been out of work for months, people who have friends that have been out of work, people who thought that they were going to return to a job when things open back up, but their company closed down and they had no job to return to. People who are facing eviction right now, aren't you happy that the Dow Jones closed above 35,000 for the first time ever? How does this help you out? Answer me that. If you're in this boat, if you're in this situation right now, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're now forced to use your credit card to go buy groceries, if you're using that credit card to pay rent, to pay the essentials, how does this help you? Dow Jones closing above 35,000 for the first time ever. Does this help the average American? Is this helping Main Street? Is this helping the business owner 2 miles from my house? Is this helping the business owner near you? When I see the vacancies and I see the small mom and pop businesses close and the restaurants close, does this mean anything that the Dow Jones closed above 35,000 for the first time ever? We all know how it happened. This is all this artificial injections. It's all this monopoly money. It's all the money at the top of the pyramid that's not trickling down to small, medium business. It's not trickling down to you and your family. This is a travesty. This is absolutely horrific. It's appalling what we're witnessing take place. These massive corporations, big business, are laughing all the way to the bank. The 1% laughing all the way to the bank. They're the ones that are celebrating today. They're the ones that care that the Dow Jones closed at 35,000, above 35,000 for the first time ever. The average American, all he and she cares about right now is paying their rent, paying the car payment, being able to pay to put groceries on the table. Most people don't care about this because this is pure fantasy land. The hedge today. This is the biggest bubble I've seen in my career. This is from Stanley Druckenmiller, the billionaire investor. He says this: U.S. markets are caught up in a raging mania fostered by trillions of dollars in government spending. He made an appearance on MSNBC's morning show, I think it was yesterday. He said this: inflation is a tax the poor cannot afford or avoid. If I was Darth Vader and I wanted to destroy the U.S. economy, I would do aggressive spending in the middle of an already hot economy. He goes on to say this: you usually get a bubble out of that and you get inflation out of that. Frankly, we now have both. This is the biggest bubble I've seen in my career. And it's not just in stocks, it's crypto and the housing market. We are about to witness the worst commercial real estate crash America has ever seen, and we're going to witness the worst housing crash America has ever seen. He says a market crash will impact Main Street even more quickly this time around. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress the importance that you are preparing for this tsunami. It's going to be bad. It's going to last a long time, and it's going to wipe out so many people. Do not be a victim of this collapse. The hedge. We're in Fantasyland. Soaring used car prices allow sellers to take in more than they paid. Used vehicles soared 10.5% in June, following a 7.3% increase in May and a 10% increase in April. Again, this is the Twilight Zone. As the economy overheats and global shortages of computer chips crimps new car production, an extremely rare phenomenon has turned the auto world upside down. Prices of used cars are defying gravity. Used cars are now worth as much as drivers originally paid for them. If you think that this is going to go on forever, you're 100% wrong. What we are witnessing is so out of this world. It's 110% unsustainable. It is fantasy. It is the Twilight Zone. It is out of control. We are past a point of no return. We are in a place now where you don't know what to believe. You better believe this. We are going to witness the worst economic collapse in world history, and you better be very, very cautious. CNBC, companies from Chipotle to Whirlpool are raising prices on consumers because of higher costs. The consumer is being so squeezed right now. I do not know how people are doing it. I really don't. Chipotle is raising prices from 3.5% to 4% to offset its average hourly rate of $15. And they go on to say this. Chipotle says this: we could take additional action to fully close the gap. That means more price hikes are coming. You're going to be paying more at Chipotle. You're going to be paying more at McDonald's. You're going to be paying more at Kohl's. You're going to be paying more at Walmart. You're going to be paying more when you buy those appliances. My question is this: what are the odds that we're ever going to see prices come back down? What are the odds that the price of food is going to come back down? The price of appliances are going to come back down? I don't know. I do think that we are going to see the prices of cars, we're going to see the prices of housing come down. We're going to see it crash. That's what we're going to see happen. And when things do crash, appliances are going to come down with it. But right now, as long as they can gouge the consumer, they're going to do it. But when the consumer is tapped out and the consumer isn't showing up at the restaurants, the consumer isn't showing up at the Kohl's, the Marshalls, the Walmarts, etc., that's when they're going to have to correct prices. This is when prices will come down, when there's less buyers. And when people don't have jobs, when people don't have stimulus, when people don't have an unemployment check, when people don't have money, prices are going to come down. Whirlpool raised its prices in the face of higher raw material. Corporate America isn't going to take the hit, ladies and gentlemen. You are. They're going to put the hit on you, the consumer. The consumer always takes the hit. What happens, though, when the consumer is tapped out? That's the question. What are we going to see when the consumer is broken, has no money, has no future, has no savings, has no job? Then what are prices going to do? You know what they're going to do. They're going to come slamming down. The price of autos, houses, appliances, you name it. And as long as corporate America can keep squeezing every little ounce out of you, okay, they're going to continue to raise prices. They're getting away with it. They're saying, look, demand is high. People are buying appliances. They're coming and having a taco at Chipotle. They're eating out. They're coming to the bars. It's not fazing them. Here's a news flash. The party's coming to an end, and people are going to be forced to budget, okay? There is a reckoning coming, ladies and gentlemen, to this economy, okay? Everybody is going to feel it, including Whirlpool, including Chipotle. I promise you that. The party is coming to an end. The money will run out. The hedge today, U.S. Services PMI plunges unexpectedly to a 5-month low as business outlook slumps. The PMI tumbled to 59.8 from 64.6. They were expecting 64.5. This is the weakest services print since February. Again, I thought everything was great, but hey, Dow Jones is over 35,000. CNBC, 13% of Americans traded crypto in the past year survey finds. This is absolutely just crazy when you think about it, and how much of this money that went into cryptos came from stimulus checks, came from the government dole, when people were sitting at home getting benefits, benefit checks, unemployment checks, stimulus checks. People, instead of putting that money away, paying down their debt, they went out, they bought new cars, they bought big screen TVs, and they went out and bought cryptos and they bought stocks. Remember, $700 billion in Bitcoin was wiped out from May to the time of making this video. $700 billion. That, according to David Stockman, and as David Stockman said, bodies are laying everywhere. $700 billion wiped out. Many of it by these young Americans who are gambling, not investing. This is pure out gambling. 24% invested in stocks. Again, most of these people have no idea what they're doing, but they had so much money coming in between benefit checks, unemployment checks, and stimulus checks, sitting at home, taking a break from the video games and Netflix. Let's gamble. This sounds fun. And it's not even our money, right? The government's just sending us money. So let's go buy a new car. Let's go buy a big screen and let's gamble. Now, what will these people do when there's no job to return to, when the stimulus now is winding down, as unemployment is going to wind down for many people? As reality comes to America, what will these people do? How are they going to afford to pay those cars that they went out and bought? How are they going to afford the rent now that's due, the 14 months of back rent? What are these people going to do? I mean, we are in the Twilight Zone, ladies and gentlemen. We have never been in this place ever before, and people have no idea what is around the corner. Another one on CNBC, millions of student loan borrowers don't have a diploma to show for their debt. U.S. student debt has increased by more than 100% over the past 10 years. 44.7 million borrowers collectively owe more than $1.7 trillion in student debt. Let me repeat that. $1.7 trillion in student debt, and they can't find a job. 4 in 10 students overall did not finish. They left without a degree, but what they did get was a lot of debt, and that interest is going to eat them alive. And where are they going to go once they have to go back to work? They're going back to Starbucks, they're going to work at McDonald's, they're going to work at Taco Bell, Home Depot, maybe Costco. They can get 18, 19, 20 hours a week. And, maybe one day they'll be able to pay back the $80,000 in student loan debt. This is going to be a mess, ladies and gentlemen, and we are creating so many debt slaves. If I could give any advice, and I don't give financial advice, but I would, if you're young and you're thinking about going to college, I would seriously really do some due diligence and think, maybe I should go learn a trade. Maybe I should really think about, before I go to college, taking on that $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 of debt. Is there going to be a job for me? Am I going to have a career out there? Many people are finding that even if they do have a degree, that degree is worthless. You can literally just put it at the bottom of a bird cage because that's about all it's worth. And so you really need to really critically think before you invest in going to that higher education. Is it going to pay off? Is it going to be a good investment? Is there going to be a job out there, a career for you? Or should you invest in yourself, learn a skill or a trade? Something to think about. That's up to you. The hedge, total number of Americans on the dole plunges by 1.2 million as states cut off emergency aid. It's about to get real, ladies and gentlemen. 13 million people are on some form of government subsidy or assistance right now. It was only 2 million people who were dependent on the government before this crisis. Now, jobs that were destroyed during this health crisis, businesses destroyed, many people do not have a job to return to. Opportunity has been destroyed for so many people. And as we have more people coming to America looking for prosperity, looking for jobs, the average American with a degree, without a degree, is going to be searching for a well-paying job, and those well-paying jobs seem to be just disappearing. I mean, think about, where do you find a job that pays $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year? Those jobs are far and few between. CNBC, the national eviction ban ends July 31st. What to do if you're at risk of eviction. So they make it sound, nice and easy here. So don't worry if you're going to be evicted, in a week. Apply for rental assistance. So that's a great idea. More than $45 billion has been allocated by Congress. Good luck getting that, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're applying for it right now, good luck. Good luck. People have been applying for it months ago and have heard nothing. Where's the $45 billion? Why is there no help for people? And there's people, waiting to the very end here. It's too late. Know your rights, number 2. Those rights will vary by state. Again, so many people put themselves in a bad position. Not everybody. There are people out there that no doubt did not want this to happen, want to go back to work. Their job is gone. The company closed. There's nowhere to go back to. They're trying to find work. They can't find a well-paying job to replace the one that they lost because that restaurant or that business is gone. It got buried. It's out of business. And these people cannot go back to it. And so they're now running on borrowed time. But there are many people out there that just, thought this was a party. The last one is get a lawyer. And again, good luck with that, because lawyers cost money. And while people thought this was a party, they decided, millions of people decided not to pay rent. They decided to go buy a new car, and they'll worry about how to pay the car off later because they'll find a well-paying job at some point. Many of these people went out and bought big screen TVs. They bought new designer clothes, and they just thought that the good times were never going to end. We won't pay our landlord. We're driving a new car. We're wearing designer clothes. We're taking vacations. This is great. And this is going to last forever. Millions of people now are about to find out it is not going to last forever. They're going to get sued. Their credit will be destroyed. We're going to see a huge amount of properties hit these markets because the landlords are done. They're going to cash out. They're getting out of the landlord business. I just hope that most people watching this video did not go out and buy a new car or a big screen. I hope that they put their money away. And that they're going to be able to transition if they do get evicted. But this is going to be a very dark time in U.S. history. This economy is not improving. It is ill. It is sick. It is dying. And while people just thought that they could party the last year away on the government dole, now they're going to have to face reality. And the reality is many people are going to be homeless. That's the reality. They're not getting a lawyer. They're not getting assistance. They're getting evicted. And I've been trying to tell people this for over a year. The day of reckoning is coming. And when you're homeless, when you're sleeping in your car or you're sleeping in a tent, don't worry. The Dow Jones is over 35,000. So isn't everything great? We're watching a massive housing boom, housing prices at all-time highs. So isn't that great? So to the person out there sleeping in their car, sleeping in a tent, sleeping at their mom's house on the couch, don't worry. Dow Jones over 35,000, and we have a real estate boom. So isn't everything great? Ladies and gentlemen, prepare, prepare, prepare. This is no time to gamble. This is the time to get the bills under control, the debt paid off. Everything that I'm watching this morning, I said to myself, I'm watching this stuff, and this Fantasyland that people are in. I ordered more metal. I ordered gold. I ordered silver from SD Bullion. Link down below. I don't care if you buy it, you don't buy it. I don't care who you buy it from. I buy from SD Bullion. I've had a couple people in the last couple days ask me where I buy from, and I'm always going to recommend SD Bullion. That's why I have a link down below. I made a purchase today. They don't give me any free metal. That came straight out of my wallet, straight out of my paycheck. And I'm just sitting here watching this inflation eat my savings up alive. And the only thing that I can think of that's safe, the most undervalued assets on the entire planet are gold and silver. So that's where I'm putting my money. That doesn't mean that you need to put your money there. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't give financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest or buy anything. I'm just telling you and sharing with you what I'm doing. Had lunch with some people today. One of them being Dan Golka. Another one will remain nameless. We'll just call him Mr. X. And, regarding Mr. X, very successful guy, a guy that's self-made, made some money, hard worker, and he's an accomplished guy with some money. And what does he do? He buys metals. And, when I'm sitting there talking to like-minded people, I'm happy that I bought more metals myself today, because I don't know where else. I'm not going to gamble in the crypto Ponzi scheme. I'm not going to gamble in the Fantasyland stock market, because I know I can wake up one day and this whole thing can be hemorrhaging. I have to put my money where it's safe. This isn't about doubling my money in a week or a month. This is about protecting my wealth. This is taking currency and putting it into money and putting it away as an insurance policy. The sales are coming, ladies and gentlemen. The sales on land, the sales on homes, the sales on boats, the sales on cars. It's going to do a 180. And when it does, if you don't have the debts paid off, if you don't have the cash put away, if you don't have the assets put away, you're not going to be able to take advantage of what's coming. The blue light sale is coming to America. You can be on the winning side of this or the losing side. But again, I don't give financial advice. Really critically think about how you can prepare right now. Somebody said, and I'm going to close this video off really quick here, but somebody said the other day, JB, all you talk about is the negative, the doom and gloom, but no answers. You don't give us any answers. Guys, I just spent a week in Texas. Go back to my Texas videos. Go to my Patreon channel. Get some food. Get some water, get some security, get in better physical shape, get in better spiritual shape. Go buy some gold, go buy some silver. Start thinking outside of the box. Start detaching from the system. Start maybe getting some of your money out of the bank. Maybe get that safety deposit box out of the bank. Stop allowing the system to control you. Get out of debt. How about that? How about reading and doing some due diligence? These are all solutions to the problem. Be your own central bank, okay? So that's just a few things off the top of my head that you can use to fight this. This is part of the solution right here. I don't have the answers to everything. Read the comments down below. And I want to say thank you to everybody that comments, because those comments down below mean more than anything I say. You guys have saved so many lives. You guys have rescued so many people financially. People have woken up because of your comments. As I've said a million times, I'm a guy that has a camera and a microphone, and I think out loud. But at the end of the day, you do not know how many people write me and thank me for those comments down below. So I'm going to thank you for making all those comments down below, because you have saved people's lives financially. You've woken people up. You've saved their futures. And you have prepared people for the worst economic collapse that is coming to America. So thank you. Thank God. Look forward to talking to all of you very, very soon. Share this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe. God bless.